Hello, growers. Looking to turn your homestead into a profitable business? Or are you a farmer looking to boost your sales? Check out my book, Sell Everything You Grow. This book is the ultimate guide to choosing the right farm business model that fits your farm, time, and location. Discover which model has the highest profit margins and why diversification is so important. Whether you're selling apples, vegetables, or microgreens, Sell Everything You Grow will help you find your first market or expand into new ones. Get Sell Everything You Grow on Amazon and start selling more today. If you think about people now trying to build a following, and let's say they're not even content creators, like they're not going the content creator route, they're running a small business. And for businesses to survive, you need that core audience, that core customer base that just comes back over time. How would you advise them to think about building up those, the 1,000 true fans?
Yeah, the way that I see most people do it, I'm way more in touch with the smaller profiles and platforms in the gardening world than the rest of the content I consume, because generally the people I consume in those worlds are already established. But I see a lot of people in the garden and farm world trying to build the audience. And it's clear that they're trying, right? Because they're doing certain things, and there's a tell that people are doing. I think the thing that people forget is there's two ways to look at it, and both I think are a bit wrong, and you have to forge some sort of middle way. And so the one way would be someone who's not concerned really about the value that they're offering the people that would follow them. And so I see a lot of people that post, I don't know another way to put it, like selfish content where they're really just blogging about their day and they're hoping people follow along and are interested in that. Now, that certainly can work, but that's like sort of aspirational lifestyle content that I think it's difficult to establish that unless you have something extraordinary about yourself, right? If you're really attractive or you're living in a really interesting place or something like that, that of course would be easier. Then the other people I think that perhaps do it incorrectly are those who they know the tactics, right? For example, right now on Instagram, if you're doing reels, you're probably going to have a better time than if you're posting just normal static image posts. That's just the way that it's working right now. So I see a lot of people that are doing that, but at least this is just all my opinion. They're putting out reels that are engagement bait type of content where you have to wonder, what are they following you for? What do you want someone to be following you for? And putting out that type of content to attract that type of person. A classic example would be the Instagram model who has a lot of followers, but the followers don't really care about her at all in some sense, because they're probably mostly male and they probably just want to look at the photos. And so it's difficult. If that's what you want, then that makes sense. And there's ways to build a business around that. But you have to think about the type of what's the type of content you're putting out? How valuable is it? And then who would it attract? Do you want those people to be the followers of your company?
If you think about that from a farm example, say you didn't have Epic Gardening, and let's say now you're running a market farm and you're selling locally in the San Diego area. What would you try and do? What are some strategies you try to do to build up that following, which in turn helps get product out there?
So I would pick my platform first. So if you're not a video person, you don't want your face on video, then you have to accept that YouTube's probably not for you. And maybe even like a TikTok or an Instagram might not be for you as well, unless you're going to just do photos. So first of all, you got to pick your platform. And second of all, I would triple down on the platform that you decide to go with, because it's going to take some time. The first platform you build is the hardest. From there, when you have a core base of followers, you can direct them to the other platforms. Hey, if you like my longer form stuff, I have a YouTube channel. Or I'll say, hey, if you prefer to read, then go check out the Epic Gardening blog, for example. So there's the platform selection. And then as far as like the nitty gritty practicals of the content I might put out if I was a market farmer, I would be really interested, just thinking from the perspective of someone who goes to a farmer's market, although I do know a lot of market farmers, so I know the ins and outs, but I would be doing cool tool profiles. Hey, here's how we cut your lettuce for you, and here's how it gets to the market. Or I would do maybe a collage or a montage of using the quick cut greens harvester on the row, dumping it into the laundry machine washer or the bubbler, drying it out, bagging it up. It shows up at the market, you hand it to a customer, and you have this little quick video where it's the full loop of that product's life cycle. If you got really crazy, you'd go from seed and you just save the video. That'd be one thing I might think about. I might do behind the scenes of different types of tasks that a consumer might be like, it's interesting to see every step that does go into making my food. Or I do farm humor behind the scenes, like funny things that happen on the farm. Or I might do day in the life, lifestyle content. Here's what happened. Hey, I'm a San Diego market farmer, and here's my day. And then you do a whole, maybe it's a YouTube video, maybe it's an Instagram post, who knows, but you do a whole thing of, I wake up at this time, my first task is this. You're narrating it, you're giving a slice of life. So I think there's a lot of ways to do it. The thing I think you have to think about is, how do you make this interesting to people who are never going to farm ever in their whole life and may actually not even ever purchase from you? Now, I'm not saying that's who you want necessarily to follow, but if you could make it interesting to someone who's never going to farm and might not even live in the same city, you better believe it's probably going to be interesting to your core market, and that'll help it spread and get it out to those people.